Hello, Apex. Good to be back. Thank you for coming to this event where we're talking about the XRPL.org. I'm Matt Mankins with the XRPL Foundation, and this is Amarantha Kulkarni from Ripple. It's great to be here. Today, as people are trickling in after lunch, I was going to start off by asking who here has been to XRPL.org in the last year?
There you go.
OK, everyone, 100% amazing in the last month?
Oh, we see some hands there.
Everyone. OK, so this is an audience for this talk. I'm so glad. How about the last week? Today? Oh, my God, this is amazing. The last hour? All right, there we go. That's fine. You're at a conference. It's OK. So this is about XRPL.org. It's a site that's owned by the XRPL Foundation, but it's actually a community initiative. And it's built not just by us, but by our partners, such as Ripple, who does a lot of work with making the site that you see today. But it's actually also partly built with our community. So I don't know if there's anyone in our community that's in the top 10 list today. Teku is here today. So Teku, thank you so much for doing 100% of the Japanese translations on the site. Big round of applause for Teku. Amarantha, I also notice, is on the list. Congrats. So the point here is that it's not just one person, but it's about all of us. And I think the rest of the talk here, Amarantha is going to lead us through some of the things that we're doing successfully now, but also give us room for the future. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Amarantha.
Thank you, Matt. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces in the room. Today, it's not about us talking at you. It's about starting a conversation, sharing some ideas that we have, and then most importantly, inviting you all to be a part of building the future for XRPL.org. We're going to be covering a proposal to modernize XRPL's digital presence, a proposal to streamline information through unified content strategy, an exciting initiative around elevating the developer experience, and yes, most importantly, we'll tell you exactly how you can jump in and contribute. So why are we having this conversation today? If you look around at Apex, you can see the XRPL ecosystem is growing rapidly, and XRPL.org needs to evolve to keep pace. Today, we have a few challenges. There's multiple sites, different experiences, all of that leading to some confusion. It's not very easy to make changes to the website. It can get tough. It's a lot of manual work. And when you look around, there is the brand from XRPL brand and messaging isn't consistent across all digital touchpoints. What we lack is a strong design system. Things like consistent grids, typography, color standards, and more. But all of this, what it means is it just takes a lot more manual effort to make any updates to the website. But this isn't a problem. It's actually a huge opportunity for us. We want to build a delightful XRPL web experience for everyone in the community. We want to attract, educate, and support everyone. We want to build an XRPL.org that's the best possible resource for all of us. Let's dive into the first initiative, which is modernizing XRPL's digital presence. This is a big overarching initiative that includes development of a new brand design system for XRPL that is built to drive clarity and consistency. We're building a foundational design system, and probably one of the most visible aspects is going to be a comprehensive redesign of XRPL.org. Our core vision here is to establish a cohesive, intuitive, and a scalable online experience, one that truly reflects where XRPL is heading to it. As you can see, this is an initiative that's actively in progress. Ripple has been leading this initiative, working closely with the XRPL Foundation and an external branding agency. The goal is to introduce consistency and clarity across all the things XRPL. Think of it as building a robust foundational design system from the ground up. Well, all sounds good, but what does it really mean for us, right? It means enhanced efficiency for future website updates. It means a scalable infrastructure that will allow XRPL.org to evolve effortlessly. And ultimately, it's increased clarity and alignment across all digital touchpoints in the ecosystem. Needless to say, this is a huge undertaking, and it's exciting for us to see it come to life. And as with any undertaking of this magnitude, we will be approaching it in a phased manner, starting with some foundational work, moving on to visual exploration, building the components, and then finally launching the updated site.
Do we have a date for that?
Not yet,
okay.
But if there's ways that we will keep everyone posted in the community.
Super, super.
Moving to the next initiative, there's a streamlining information. One of the biggest pieces of this whole puzzle is the unified content strategy. The core problem that we're solving here is fragmentation and difficulty and confusion in accessing trusted sources of information. You all know how interesting it can get if you go to the web and look for something related to XRP. What we're trying to do is provide one place to make XRPL.org the go-to place for all trusted sources of information, using and providing clear pathways for different personas. We're going to use intuitive subdirectory structure to organize all the content. And then this will ensure that you have easier and faster access to relevant and useful information for you. Think of the unified content strategy as a unifying force in this decentralized ecosystem. It builds cohesion and trust. It enables knowledge sharing and collaboration. And it enhances efficiency and adaptability, allowing and ensuring the ecosystem can evolve cohesively, but by still remaining responsive to the emerging trends and needs around us. Here's we've been exploring an updated sitemap. A very simplified version of the sitemap is what you see here. But this one, as you can see, there's clear pathways for different personas. Whether you're a builder, a developer, a community member, or an educator, there's going to be a clear pathway that provides relevant information for you. Let's dive into Learn. As an example, this is think about someone who is new to XRPL. What's their experience today? They actually have to go to various channels, different resources to understand and to find trusted sources to learn about XRPL. We're suggesting that we make XRPL.org one place where you can link all the relevant trusted sources of learning. That would give them simplify the onboarding journey and then help give access to trusted learning resources across the ecosystem. Are you an educator or an expert or a subject matter expert who's creating learning resources? Well, I'm welcoming you to contribute to the growing list of resources. That is just an example with the Learning Portal and the residency program, but I know a lot of us are building a lot of learning resources. This is useful for everyone in the community, and I would invite you to contribute. Add a link here, and what it means is you're going to make it easier for people to come into the community, and you're going to help build the community.
And it's easy, right?
It's very easy.
It's actually easy. It's a PR.
Just go there, the clear PR, and you're good. I think if you were in Wet's session yesterday, he actually showed how easy it is to actually contribute to XRPL.org.
And if it's not easy, let us know, and we'll make it easier.
And if we zoom back out, you see that Learn is a small part of the sitemap. Streamlining information on this entire site is a massive undertaking. And as you may expect, this is also going to be phased. What's important to note here is collaboration. Collaboration across the board, across the community is key for us for the success of this initiative. We welcome feedback, but more importantly, we want more contributors, and we welcome contributors. Moving on to another exciting initiative, something that's near and dear to me coming from RippleX. So this is about elevating the developer experience on XRPL.org. As we look around, the way content is being created and consumed is changing by the day. And it's only imperative that we leverage the technological advances, specifically AI, to elevate and truly up-level the experience on our website. We all know the pain. Developers spending countless hours sifting through documentation. You hit an obscure error, you're scrolling through for a precise syntax, you're looking for relevant working code samples, or you're just struggling to understand complex concepts, or maybe figure out that little nuance of all the knobs that get turned and how does it impact, often leaving developers frustrated and slowing down innovation. What's the opportunity for us? We can leverage AI to elevate the developer experience on the site and alleviate some of these common pain points. Just imagine having an intelligent assistant right there on the site. What could AI do for you? Just think about it. You could get instant, accurate answers to technical questions without having to dig through pages and pages of documentation or going to multiple sites trying to figure out what can we do. AI could offer quick code snippets, could offer contextual code, giving you runnable examples in your preferred language, help you debug issues, and even suggest best practices for you for your project. It could also guide you to trusted sources of information that are available. What's great is it's not just XRPL.org. We can train the agent on all trusted sources that we find are relevant and useful for us.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in here. This is a really exciting feature that the team has developed. And I just wonder, with such an audience that is already a power user of XRPL.org, I wonder how many of you are also supplementing that at the moment with AI. Any hands up? Yeah, so we're already doing this. Just think of this feature as enhancing that by training it. And I think you're going to actually go through that.
Yes, we will. So let's take a look. We have an early prototype. I'm going to walk through a few scenarios where how AI agent is handling real developer challenges like searching for a syntax or clarifying a concept or simple troubleshooting. Take this first example where a developer is struggling with XRPL.js, trying to find a problem because sending XRP as a payment, they're getting invalid amount errors. What do? The AI not only provides them the correct code, it gets it directly from client library reference documentation, and we can include links to where it's getting from, giving you access to code without having to spend more time trying to debug it. Another example is that something commonly you see as a common conceptual challenge. What's the difference between a regular key and master keys? The AI agent not only clarifies what the difference is, but also offers best practices that are pulled from the security guides. If you've done the same thing with the usual search, you would get a response with just one of them. In this case, it's aggregating all of the information and providing you with more relevant and useful information. And in the third scenario, you can see a debugging, which we all know can be a nightmare sometimes. Here, developers hitting an obscure error code. AI not only tells you what it means, but also provides some common causes and potential solutions, referencing the error code and also the transaction protocol documentation. This is really exciting, and this is very promising. By transforming how developers are accessing information on XRPL.org, we're not just improving documentation, we're fundamentally accelerating innovation on XRP Ledger. This means fewer errors, quicker debugging, faster learning curves, more robust applications, and of course, empowered developers. Just imagine the possibilities. We're really excited to explore how we can bring this vision to life. And if you haven't had a chance, I would say if you stop by the Merlion Lounge, we have some iPads out there with the agent, the prototype available that you could play around with. And of course, again, this is yet another thing that we're open to hearing from you. We'd love to collaborate as we build this out.
Yeah, I would just underscore here that when we think about a sitemap, usually we think about humans. But we're entering an era where the people coming to the website are not just humans, but they're also AI. And so we have to train and create content for that new class of people accessing our site, just as in the early days of the web we had SEO. And so I think that it's a new thing that we all have to think about as a community and as builders of this technology.
Sure. Yeah, agree. Well, all of these capabilities that you just saw clearly isn't magic. We all know that. They're built on critical foundation, like Matt just mentioned. It's making XRPL's vast knowledge base understandable to large language models. We're actively working on these options. We're looking at a proposal to engineer our content for these large language models. And what does that mean? It means having structured content, updating and ensuring our content uses consistent, well-structured formats. Think about clear headings, precise API definitions, standardized examples. All of these things are helpful because they reduce ambiguity, which helps AI because it drastically reduces the opportunities and the chances of AI hallucinating. It also improves the quality of generated code. The second one is semantic chunking. We do have some pages, I'm sure a lot of you know, that are really long, combining a lot of information on one page. Semantic chunking actually says break them up into smaller, meaningful chunks, which enables the agent to actually pinpoint to the most relevant information. What that means is you as a user are served precise, accurate, and relevant answers to your questions. The third one is fairly simple. It's adding an LLMs.txt file to your website. For a lot of us, you're aware the robots.txt was a similar guide that you would provide to enable search engine crawlers. LLMs.txt is a similar concept, but something that you would do for large language models serving as a guide. And I'll be remiss, there is the effectiveness of LLMs.txt is still being evaluated, but it is nevertheless a good idea because it forces us to think how our content is being consumed, not just by humans, but by machines and models as well.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here and talk to the part of the audience that is in the budget area. And so just remember that we're doing the regular website, but we're also doing another website. So the workload here is actually growing, even if our benefits of using AI pay off. So it's such a new world with lots of different challenges.
Yes. What's the result of all this work? It's an XRPL.org, a knowledge base that speaks fluently to developers and also to the AI tools that are designed to assist them. That was a lot about AI. I think we can switch gears and talk about something incredibly important for the health and the reliability of our ecosystem, our client libraries. Imagine a future where you land on XRPL.org and look at client libraries and you see a verified check mark against some of them. What does that, how do we get there? What does that even mean? What does a check mark represent, and how can we make it meaningful? We're exploring the idea of defining common quality standards for the client libraries. Should we, as a community, define what minimum agreed upon standards could be set for the client libraries? And if we do, could we then automate these test suites so that a number of us who are developing new client libraries would have something automated, can run the new client library against this standard test suite and know that they're good to go? Could we then also develop guidelines for the maintenance on a regular basis for the client libraries? What about security? Why am I asking all these questions? Well, the goal is to provide clarity and trust. for the developers who are using the client libraries, but also for the dedicated maintainers in our community who are maintaining all these client libraries. And this brings us to a crucial question today to all of you. Is this worth pursuing? Do we, as a community, want to define a standard set of commonly agreed upon guidelines? And do we want to build these tools to elevate the quality and the trust of the client libraries? We would love to hear from you and then take this on this topic and take it forward. As we look ahead, our commitment is clear. Continued partnership with the XRPL Foundation and the community. We're actively seeking feedback and are looking forward to building these initiatives together. If you have a moment, scan the QR code on the screen and let us know which initiatives would you like to be a part of, which initiatives are you interested in and would like to participate in. We'll be sharing more updates with the XRPL community beyond Apex as well. The future of XRPL.org is a collective effort. By working together on a stronger brand, a more unified digital presence, enhanced experiences, and robust standards, we're building a more accessible, secure, and a vibrant ecosystem for everyone. I do think we have some time for questions.
Yeah, we have time for questions. I don't know if anyone in the audience wants to uber geek out about XRPL.org. I know at the start of the talk, we had 100% of the people in the audience had been there in the last year. Yes, there's a question. If you can just stand up, we're going to bring a mic over to you, and then just repeat the question.
Hi. Question about the UX for contributors. The process of pulling PRs in text mode is pretty cumbersome. How about getting to a more modern way of updating a website, like a Webflow or something like that, but decentralized in some ways?
Yes, I can say that the toolchain we use does offer a visual WYSIWYG kind of an editor view that we could look at provisioning for users. The challenge is opening up something on a public repository does invite more trouble than what we've had an opportunity to manage so far, but definitely, I take your point. This is something that we get a request from multiple people, so definitely look forward to working together on that.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the transparency of a Get PR, and I think it's really lightweight, and the engineer in me really enjoys that. I think that sites like this are missing smaller signals where I know when I go to Apple, for example, I can send little feedback that something isn't working, and presumably somebody looks at that. I don't know if someone actually looks at that, but I think those kind of things are things that we can look at our partners who are helping to build this to do. So if anyone else has that feedback, please let us know. Anyone else in the room? Questions on AI? The future of XRPL.org? And one of the things that I have found as a developer, personally I find that XRPL.org is a wonderful resource for development. There are parts of the protocol, for example, that are yet to be developed, and I know internally we'd like to do that. Do you see XRPL.org as a resource, a place to put some of this documentation, for example, for the RippleD protocol?
Yes, and this is a tricky one. We've gone back and forth on kind of putting, when do we put stuff that is in development. So far, what we've followed is a standard practice that if the source code is merged with RippleD, that's when the documentation can go on to XRPL.org. It helps keep things clean because from a decentralized world, you're never sure when a feature is going to get merged and be a part of a stable release. So sometimes some of these bigger features can take a really long time. But definitely there's room, like we can carve out a space on XRPL.org, maybe like a pre-release subdomain or a subdirectory, and you can say, hey, all the stuff that is being worked on is here, and we can plug it in. I'm sure there are ways to do it.
Oh, well, I look forward to that. Looks like we're unfortunately out of time for more questions, so thank you all for coming, and XRPL.org. Thanks.
Thank you.